Hello everyone, today's story is Hallie and Mudge in Puddle Trouble. Let's go. When the snow melted and spring came, Hallie and his dog Mudge stayed outside all the time. Hallie had missed riding his bike. Mudge had missed chewing on sticks. They were glad it was warmer. One day, when Hallie and Mudge were in their yard, Hallie saw something blue on the ground. He got closer to it. Mudge, he called, it's a flower. Mudge slowly walked over and sniffed the blue flower. Then he sneezed all over Hallie. Ow, Mudge, Hallie said. Later, Hallie's mother told him that the flower was called a snow glory. Can I pick it? Hallie asked. Oh no, said his mother. Let it grow. So Hallie didn't pick it. Every day he saw the snow glory in the yard, blue and looking so pretty. He knew he shouldn't pick it. He was trying not to pick it. But he thought how nice it would look in a jar. He thought how nice to bring it inside. He thought how nice it would be to own that snow glory. Every day he stood with Mudge and looked at the flower. Mudge would stick his nose into the grass all around the snow glory, but he never looked at it the way Hallie did. Don't you think the snow glory has been growing long enough? Hallie would ask his mother. Let it grow, Hallie, she would say. Oh, Hallie wanted that snow glory, and one day he just knew he had to have it. So he took Mudge by the collar, and he stood beside the snow glory. I'm going to pick it, Hallie whispered to Mudge. I've let it grow a long time. Hallie bent his head and he said in Mudge's ear, Now I need it. And Mudge wagged his tail, licked Hallie's face, then put his big mouth right over the snow glory, and he ate it. No, Mudge, Hallie said, but too late. There was a blue flower in Mudge's belly. I said, need it, not eat it, shouted Hallie. He was so mad because Mudge took his flower. It was Hallie's flower, and Mudge took it. And Hallie almost said, bad dog, but he stopped. He looked at Mudge, who looked back at him, with soft brown eyes and a flower in his belly. Hallie knew it wasn't his snow glory. He knew it wasn't anybody's snow glory, just a thing to let grow. And if someone ate it, it was just a thing to let go. Hallie stopped feeling mad. He put his arms around Mudge's big head. Next time, Mudge, he said, try to listen better. Mudge wagged his tail and licked his lips. One blue petal fell from his mouth into Hallie's hand. Hallie smiled, put it in his pocket, and they went inside. Puddle trouble. In April it rained, day after day after day after day. Hallie was getting bored. Mudge was chewing up everything in the house. So Hallie said, let's play outside anyway. He put on his raincoat and sneakers and went outside with Mudge. Hallie forgot to ask his father if it was all right. When Mudge stepped into the wet grass, he lifted his paws and shook them. Too bad you don't have sneakers, Hallie said, and he walked in a circle around Mudge. Squish, 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 squish. Mudge listened and looked at Hallie. Then he got closer to Hallie and wagged his tail and shook the water from his big wet furry body all over Hallie. Hallie wiped the water from his face. "Ah, Mudge," he said. The two of them went walking, and down the road they found a big puddle, a giant puddle, a lake puddle, an ocean puddle, and Hallie said, "Wow." He started running. Mudge got there first. Splash! Muddy water all over Mudge. Splash! Muddy water all over Hallie. It was the biggest, deepest puddle they had ever seen, and they loved it. When Hallie's father called for Hallie and didn't find him, he went outside. He looked down the road. Splash! He heard. He put on his raincoat and went walking. Splash! He saw Hallie's father. Hallie father's saw Mudge with a muddy face, a muddy tail, and muddy in between. Hallie's father saw Hallie with some muddy face and muddy sneakers and muddy in between. And he yelled, "Hallie, no more splashes, just a boy and a dog, dripping." "Hi, Dad," Hallie said, with a little smile. Mudge wagged his tail. "Hallie, you know, you should have asked me first." Hallie's father said. "I know," said Hallie. "I am surprised at you," Hallie's father said. "I'm sorry," said Hallie. "I don't know what to do with you," Hallie's father said. Hallie looked sad. Then Mudge wagged his tail, licked Hallie's hand, and shook the water from his big wet furry body all over Hallie and Hallie's father. "Mudge!" Hallie yelled. Hallie's father stood there with a muddy face and muddy shoes and muddy in between. He looked at Mudge. He looked at Hallie. He looked at the big puddle. Then he smiled. "Wow," he said, and he jumped in. He splashed water on Mudge. He splashed water on Hallie. He said, "Next time, ask me alone." Hallie said, "Sure, Dad," and Hallie splashed with him back. The kittens. In May, the cat who lived next door to Hallie and Mudge had a little litter of kittens. There were 5 kittens. One was orange, one was gray, one was black and white, and 2 were all black. The kittens sometimes stayed in a box in their front yard to get some sun while the mother cat rested. One day, Hallie and Podge picked in the box. They saw tiny little kitten face and tiny little kitten paws, and heard tiny little kitten's meows. Mudge sniffed and sniffed and sniffed. He wagged his tail and sniffed some more. Then he put his big head into the box, and with his big tongues he licked all 5 kittens. Hallie laughed. "Do you want some kittens of your own?" he asked Mudge. Mudge grunted and waggled his tail again. Whenever the kittens were in their front yard, Hallie and Mudge visited the box. Hallie loved their little noses, and he had ever given them names. He called them Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. Hallie loved Planet too. While Hallie was at school one day, a new dog came up Hallie's street. The 5 kittens were sleeping in the box in their yard. Mudge was sleeping in Hallie's house. When the new dog got closer to Hallie's house, Mudge's ear went up. When the new dog got even closer to Hallie's house, Mudge's nose went in the air. And just when the new dog was in front of Hallie's house, Mudge barked. He barked and barked and barked until Hallie's mother opened the door. And just as Mudge ran out the door, the new dog was in the neighbor's yard, looking in the kitten's box. And just as the new dog was putting its big teeth into the box, Mudge ran up behind him. Snap! Went Mudge's teeth when the new dog saw him. Snap! Went Mudge's teeth again when the new dog looked back at the box of kittens. Mudge growled. He looked into the eyes of the new dog. He stood ready to jump, and the new dog backed away from the box. He didn't want the kittens anymore. He just wanted to live, and he did. Mudge looked in the kitten box. He saw 5 tiny faces and 5 skinny tails and 20 little paws. He reached in and licked all 5 kittens. Then he lay down beside the box and waited for Hallie. Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn went back to sleep. Thank you for the watching. Bye bye.